There it goes. Now we're
And then
live.
we are live. We are live again.
We are live and in action. Woo! From
Ready
the
to
UK
take action?
to Michigan.
Say again. I lost you.
from UK to Michigan, we're live.
Exactly. And I love so much these events because they're very engaging and people always interact so much. We always have people that want to comment, share their view, their opinions.
Mhm.
So we are live. Let me check if we are actually live or we just play ourselves. Let's see.
It says
It
live
seems,
on mine.
yeah, let me see. It look like we are. There we go.
All
Yes.
right.
Okay. So we are live on LinkedIn. We're streaming live on LinkedIn, Facebook, and YouTube. And this is the third episode of Hierarchy Betrayal. I am Dina Paoloni. I am your host, and I am so glad to chat about nursing identity today with Kimberly Maurer, which is actually my co-host. So together we're going to share our opinion and our feelings about nursing identity, our perspective as a my self-care coach and Kimberly coach for nurses, and we'll see how many of you will interact with us.
Yeah, Darlene already
Darlene,
said hello.
hello.
Morning. Hi,
Thank you for
Darlene. Nice.
coming.
Thank you for coming. Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah.
So this is the third event, right? Live event. We
Yeah.
talked about
Yeah.
different things previously, mainly power dynamics and team dynamics in nursing. And
Mhm.
so let's introduce yourself, and then I will go with a disclaimer. But actually, I lost you, Kimberly.
Uh-oh. All right. Let's
Are
see. Hold
you
up.
there?
Hold on. Yeah, I'm here. Hold on. Come on.
No, no,
There
there
we
we
go.
go.
All right. I'm in Michigan, so I'm not the same setup. So bear with me if I fall in and out. It's the internet here. So
I know
hey
you're
guys.
there. I know you're there. Thank you, darling. We too, both of us, we're looking forward this conversation. Hi, Deborah.
Hi.
Thank you very much for coming.
Good morning. Good morning, everybody who hops on. Good morning. Good morning. Happy Sunday morning. Oh, look, it's Sunday.
Yeah, exactly. It's very shine here in UK. Not that cold, I will say, but I know
No,
that
there's
in
snow.
Michigan
Snow. Lots of snow.
it's snowing. Okay, let's
Ah,
introduce ourselves again for those who don't know us.
okay.
Who we are, please. Well, if you can see, if you can hear from my strong accent, I'm Italian and living in UK, so I prefer the Kimberly start the introduction. They maybe when I warm up, I'm able to speak properly. Thank you.
Um, so I'm Kimberly Maurer. I am the founder of Unapologetically You Collective. So I work with nurses, leaders, everyone across the board in healthcare and beyond, actually, and pivoting roles, finding their why, remembering what their why is, and just finding sometimes that person that they think that they lost because the system has swallowed them whole. So it's about just those deep conversations, that time with people, and just being absolutely genuine, authentic, and just being human. So I've been focusing a lot on that. I've been doing podcasts. I wrote a book, and I'm loving life right now. I'm loving everything that I'm doing. My voice, I'm giving a voice to the voiceless, and I feel that has become my calling. It's always been taking care of patients and families and that. So now I'm just doing it in a different way where I feel like they're the patients now and I'm taking care of them in a different way, you know.
Exactly.
But so it's been a wonderful journey, and I appreciate anyone and everybody that's following, that comments, that interacts with us, that is just present, because I feel like it's all about just being present and sharing the stories and feeling comfortable sharing stories, because all of us have so many stories to tell. So many stories, whether if you've been a nurse for 6 months or you've been a nurse for 60 years, y'all have stories. So there you go. How's that?
Absolutely.
Turn,
Thank
your
you.
turn.
I'll go for mine
Now
now.
you're
Thank you.
done.
Hi, Hamed. Thank you for coming. I am Dina Paoloni, and I am a nurse since 2003. So 2 decades be a nurse. I moved from Italy. I moved in UK in 2015, and slowly, because I started helping other nurses moving abroad, I became a career coach. Now I'm certified career coach for international educated nurses, and I help nurses succeed abroad. I help also native nurses to succeed in a multicultural environment, and I help hospital retain nursing excellence. And I'm very pleased to be with Kimberly today because we met each other on LinkedIn. We started conversation at the very beginning, offline, simply chatting on LinkedIn, and then meeting for a coffee chat, just the two of us. And then we decided, because we already done a live event, which went very well, I interviewed her in my podcast and Nurses Move channel. And please subscribe if you're watching now from YouTube. We decided actually to go ahead and continue this conversation because they are very important. We must to talk about nurses as a humans, and because we are living a nursing crisis, which is not a crisis on numbers or how many nurses there are working, but actually it's a crisis on leadership and identity. So today we're going to talk about nursing identity. We don't have any script, so please come on and join us in this conversation, share your thought. A little bit of skipping here. We're streaming from LinkedIn, Facebook, and YouTube. So in order to share your comments, and you have to give a permission to this platform to share your name. Otherwise, you pop up like, YouTube user or Facebook user or LinkedIn user, and now we won't know who you are. So if you want to share your comment, please do. We'll share during the conversation and let us know who you are. So we have this habit or routine, call how you want. We start a disclaimer, and I want to play this disclaimer again.
This is our producer. 1 minute for our producer to show you a disclaimer.
The Hierarchy Betrayal podcast. Warning: unfiltered, unscripted, unapologetic. This podcast is brought to you by two nurses who've had enough of the BS. We're talking about the real healthcare system, the one that exploits nurses, commodifies patients, and protects profit over people. What to expect? Zero scripts, just raw, honest conversation. F-bombs, probably more than a few. We're passionate, not polished. Uncomfortable truths. If you're a manager who's complicit in the hierarchy betrayal, this content may cause discomfort, embarrassment, or a sudden urge to defend the indefensible. Not suitable for sensitive managers allergic to accountability, anyone invested in maintaining the status quo, those who prefer their healthcare conversations sanitized and corporate approved. Suitable for nurses tired of being used and abused, healthcare workers ready to call out the mafia, anyone who believes patients deserve better than a system designed for profit. If you're here, you're ready for the truth. Welcome to the Hierarchy Betrayal.
Welcome here. So today we're going to talk about nursing identity, and we have our two perspectives here. You have 4 decades of nursing. I've got 2 decades of nursing. You are a coach for nurses. I am a career coach for nurses, and we want to really understand what is nursing identity from a broader perspective to a very individual, and how nursing identity seems, because we can read from social media and conversation that nurses' identity seems creating a profound burnout in nursing. So I would like to start with sharing your experience, Kimberly, if you want, and then we can see other people what they think about. Thank you.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Hi, Ahmad. Hi, Flavia. Hi, Darlene. Hello, Deborah. Everybody. Hi, shout outs to everybody. I just So I feel for me, for the identity, so everything was great, life was great, working, thriving. Then COVID hit, and then I got COVID, and I got really sick, got really, really sick. Ended up getting a brain tumor and having to have brain surgery, and it took a lot from me. That was a huge struggle, and it's still a struggle because I'm still dealing with the aftermath of long COVID. But to then finally recover and then be in a position, because the COVID vaccine was mandated. So once I got the COVID vaccine, I took a huge nosedive. It put me right back where I was. So I had to leave, short-term, long-term disability. I was gone for 2 years, and I just lost who I was. I didn't know, and the way I was treated through that time, with all the doctors, the hospital, the emergency visits, the just being poo-pooed, and I was too multifactorial. Nobody wanted to listen to me. So I was, honestly, I hate to even say this, but I was so ashamed of our profession at that time. I was so ashamed of the way that I was treated, not only as a patient, but as a nurse being a patient, because I knew, so I felt like, God, if this was somebody who had no medical knowledge, who had not been through what I'd been through, knew what I knew, how on earth were they treated? So I was totally ashamed of our profession, and I didn't even want to admit that I was a nurse, because if nursing has come to this, what are we doing? What are we doing here? So I feel that COVID probably was the beginning of the dominoes tipping over to where we are now, where people are just burnt out. They've had enough. They're tired. They're so tired. And, that collaboration isn't there anymore. That cohesive working together isn't anymore. So I found myself losing who I was and getting wrapped up in all of that. I think we all do. I think we all are so tired of the noise and the chaos and everything that day-to-day work and day-to-day struggles brings us to. So by going into coaching and writing my book and telling the story of my experience, along with Ashley Scott, and her infusing her 10 poems, which made the book much, oh my God, it brought so much fire to my book, and I absolutely love her. And I just feel that I lost my identity then. And now coming back, and with all of you and the platform here, I've found my voice again. Because I've always been a talker. I'm a social butterfly. I'll talk to everybody. I mean, the flight here. So I'm in Michigan. So I just flew all the way from Florida yesterday. So I'm now in Michigan. So, I talk to everybody. So me and this kid next to me on the plane, we were talking, and he's 21 and just amazing. I couldn't find out we're connected on LinkedIn. What? It was so funny.
That's so funny.
It was so funny. But I just feel that LinkedIn allows people. It's not only just professional, it's personable. I feel that LinkedIn has given a voice to the voiceless, as well as you and I and everyone that's here, talking about their businesses and entrepreneurship and pivoting outside of the bedside. I feel that it's really given us the, what do you want to say? It's given us the mic, basically, right? Here, take the mic here. It's all you, and just spread the love and share your stories. And I found that through so many connections and these conversations that we're all in the same boat. We're all experiencing the same things, just differently. So, and everybody sharing their stories and talking about, the heartbreak and the dismissal and the betrayal and the noise of it all and the bullying, just everything was coming out. I feel that's been so quiet for so long. But listen, if you watch and you read, I mean, it's coming out. People are actually finding their identity. They're finding why they are in this profession. They are finding their way back to the love of this profession. And I feel for healthcare to improve and for us to be able to be better for ourselves, firstly, and then for the patients. It's a no-brainer. It's a no-brainer. If it's like, what is it? About the wife. What is it? The wife. Happy wife, happy life.
Yes.
So happy nurses, happy nurses, happy patients, happy healthcare. There.
Exactly. And I will jump on this a little bit because my experience with nursing identity started a little bit before I have this personal encounter with losing my nursing identity. And I said that I moved abroad in 2015. And before moving, I start to, try to understand the migration process, all of that, was the best country for me. So my research started actually in 2013. And while I was researching where to move abroad, I understood that each country has a different scope of practice. Not just that, but each country has a different training pattern to become a nurse. We have country where you can do diploma and bachelor degrees. We have country that have just a diploma. We have country that have just like a professional degree, like a secondary school to become nurses. And we have country that have just, for example, I come from Italy. In Italy, we have only bachelor degree. So if you want to become a nurse, you must do secondary school and then university. So this concept was a little bit strange to me because I come from this country that have only one path to become a nurse. So I studied and realized that each country has a different scope of practice. And because of that, and because the relationship that nurses has with all the healthcare professionals in other countries, you can be treated better or you can be treated worse or where you actually been trained in. So from an Italian nurse perspective, I realized that if I wanted to move in France, for example, I was treated like the same that in Italy. If I move on Belgium, maybe I would become nurse one, because in Belgium they have nurse one and nurse two. Nurse one is bachelor degree, nurse two is diploma nursing. If I went to an SA, I have different kind of nursing. And well, at the end of, I choose UK, we still have diploma and bachelor. But the problem is that nurses, depending of they training path, they are treated different in countries. And because I realized that nurses are seeking validation, nursing each other start to treat or mistreat the other nurses in a different way because one have a certification or a master or PhD, and the other may know, and someone maybe have a different path. And so this way of relationship shook me a little bit because I thought, why? I thought we have only one nursing identity. But actually, we have many nursing identity.
Oh my
So,
goodness, yeah.
so try to understand these things from a broader perspective and then study career coaching, all of that. I really realize how much we are divided globally in our nursing identity. We are divided because different path of training. We are divided because different culture and so different scope of practice in different countries. And we are divided because depending on the country or the culture, we treat nurses in a different way. All the healthcare professionals treat nurses in a different way. And nurses themselves treat nurses in a different way. And this was very shocked to me. But this while I was studying, you know, nursing from a broader international perspective, I have endometriosis, which is a chronic condition. I've done for 20 years of my life, I've done emergency and critical care. COVID hit and I was an ICU COVID nurse. Okay, so I contract COVID few times, but in a very light way, and I have a vaccine anyway, so I was kind of protected. But last time I contracted COVID, he gave me long COVID, and my pain precipitated, and I start to experience chronic pain. And because of chronic pain, I have to leave the ICU. And in that moment was hard because for 20 years, I've been an emergency and critical care nurse. I couldn't see myself in another ward. Also because, especially ICU nurse, they are very hard to themselves. I discovered that if you have a condition, or if you are tired, or if you are ill, you are not good to work. So you kind of become a burden for the other colleagues in the team. You become like a heavy things for the workflow. You're not an helper anymore. You are something that slow down the workflow. And so I experienced people to be not very kind with me because I have a chronic condition. Also, I've been asked to leave the ICU from my chronic pain doctor. So it was hard to me find a way to reinvent myself because I was very attached with this nursing identity of an ICU nurse.
So your colleagues treated you like you were a burden because of your illness?
Well, not explicitly, but when gossip or
Oh God,
passive
yes.
aggression take over.
Yes.
So you understand that you're not very welcome. Of course, I've got my previous team that we love each other. We were very tight. So I'm still working with those people. But because I have to say actually, we've been split. A very good team, very good, led by an amazing nurse, and a very amazing nurse leader. We've been split, and just before COVID happened, or just after. Anyway, we've been split, so we've been reallocated to different teams. And when my condition deteriorated and I started to experience chronic pain, the nurses I was with, they start to become like passive aggressive because I needed more extra rest, because I needed to take my medication on time, so get to break on time, so all these kind of things. So I experienced difficult because I felt myself an emergency nurse. I had critical care nurse for a long time. So I thought, how can I live without my adrenaline? How can I go through the shift without, being in control of the patient, know how to manage the patient?
Right. I'm so sorry, Dina. I'm so sorry. They should have they should have taken you under their wings, and they should have just wrapped you in a big hug. What can I do to help you? I mean, because your condition didn't change the person that you were. It didn't change your experience. It didn't change how you took care of patients. It was just you trying to survive. Obviously, you have to. You want to work. You have to work to pay the bills. The bills are due. The rent's due. The whatever's due. You have to keep working, and you were trying to work through that, being like you were, like I was. We were trying to keep going, and it comes back to that self-care. And it's like, when do we say enough? When do we say, okay, I can't keep doing this because I'm dying? Okay, I'm struggling. I'm exhausted, and I'm tired of trying to explain myself to people that should understand
Exactly
what I'm going through, that should understand, especially my team workers should know, things happen, life happens, it only takes one event, one health event to wipe you completely out from your retirement, your pension, anything you have in savings, your identity, your livelihood, your friends. It only takes one event to wipe all of that away. I am so sorry that that happened to you and they treated you that way, because that's not the type of care that you deserve. The way you took care of patients didn't change. It's not okay. That's the thing. Well, see, it's not okay, and we have to be okay with saying that. It is not okay. It's so not okay.
But I take this event as an opportunity to learn how to actually reflect on what's happened. Because yes, it's not okay. But now I became a voice for those who are not able to express themselves. To be honest, I make the decision myself to leave the ICU. But had went through a 2-3 good months of very deep self-reflection, because no one on my teammate at that time wanted to talk. They knew what I was going through, but no one even the manager. They didn't want to talk with me to say, look, to be honest, this is not a safe way to work, because especially last month, I was working medicated with dihydrocodeine, ibuprofen, paracetamol. But regardless the medications that I was taking, I was still able to perform. Okay, I was still able to stay focused and concentrated because I knew my limit. Okay, so in case I thought that the patient was not safe, I would probably call for sickness. And this is probably one of the issue that I have to call for sick, for sick leave a few times. But no one wanted to sit with me and say, look, this is not safe anymore. Do you have considered something else? Should we work around this together? Because being an immigrant nurse, an expat nurse in a country, and not to be very busy, a mom of 3, don't really have a lot of people around to be able to do this conversation. The only people you can relate with, I know you're there, but okay, it's the connection. The only people you have to discuss with are your colleagues, right? So no one really wanted to sit down and discuss the issue with me. I have to deep reflect by myself and make a decision. I was doing research in that time, so I basically moved to research. And this saved me because research I love so much. But I know that you are there. Okay.
I'm here, honey. I didn't go anywhere. For whatever reason, it keeps flipping my camera out of me. I don't know. I'm here. I heard every bit of that. Yes. I apologize for that. Like I said, I'm in
No, that's okay. And so I will say now it's not okay, but that event helped me reflect to be a better career coach, first of all, for my client. I help them in their journey, even if they have any health issue or problem of they don't know which direction take, and so they have a identity crisis. But also because I decide to speak up and be loud, be vocal about this problem.
Right, because so many, like, Patricia Temple, she's got long COVID. She went through COVID and she's been struggling. And I see, what did she say? Thank you for sharing. I found this one of the greatest betrayals of all, when my colleagues didn't have my back. And that was the hardest part, right? That was like, oh my God, they should have been taking me under my wing. They should have been taking you under the wing. What can we do? What can we do to help you get through the day? Because you are such an asset and we need you. It's not just a warm body. We need you because of what you bring to the table. And it's so sad that I know that we're not the only ones, for sure. There's millions, I'm sure, that are struggling with long COVID and losing their identity, and how the whole dynamic changed. We were talking about the hierarchy last time, and that dynamic of the totem pole, I want to call it, the totem pole. And it's like, why didn't, like you said, why didn't your manager come to you and say, okay, Dina, I know that you're going through this right now. What can I do to help make it easier for you to get through your day? And everyone takes medication. We pop Motrin, 800 milligram Motrins like they're candy, out of a freaking Pepsi dispenser. So being medicated, that's not the problem. That's, again, something you had to do to survive the pain and get through the day. But to be present, you were doing everything you could to be present.
Exactly.
Right? And they should have supported you. They should have been more willing to maybe give you a lighter load or something, because all of us are there for one thing, to take care of the patients. So I'm sure no matter whatever capacity you could have been, you were for them, it was well worth having you there than to not have you there. So I appreciate you and everything that you do as a nurse and everything that you've done as a nurse. And I love, love, love what you're doing for nurses now because of what you've taken from that experience. And just like me, taking from that experience that I thought broke me, and that I was just tapping out, done, can't do this anymore. But it was that experience for both of us, and I'm sure many, many more, that it changed who we were, it changed our identity in a way that now we can move forward on a different path. Because you know what when one direction doesn't work, you know, God always turns us around. He's got it's in his control. Unfortunately, we just have to go through it, and we have to drive like this rather than just a straight line. I'm not sure why that is. That's how it is. So again, sweetheart, I'm so sorry that happened to you, but you know that I love you. Your nurses and everyone that you're mentoring absolutely loves you. Your presence shows that. Your contribution to nursing and everything that you're doing speaks such volume to that. So here, you want me to read a comment? So,
Yes,
Missy
stop
says,
talking about me because I love you so much. I wouldn't do this that I'm doing with you
I want you to know.
if I didn't recognize the same pain in you. And so, first of all, I thank you very much for what you do and raise the voice of nurses. And you always say that. And also, I love so much that you support me in this adventure, and that you always have the smile to, to support. And you give me the support that others didn't give to me. And we support each other. Let's read the comment. Deborah, you are so right. Deborah say it's amazing that the empathy your colleagues show for their patients was not extended to you. So sorry. Yes, this is so true, and I can understand why this happened. Not just with me, but with others as well. Anna,
Right.
do you want to? Yeah,
Want me
go
to
for
read
it.
Missy? So Missy says the organizations did not shift accordingly to support their nurses, which contributed to the heavier burden of unsafe environments, resulting in higher stress levels. The number of nurses that left nursing before, during, and after COVID because of unsafe, hostile environments is a global disaster. Absolutely.
Yeah,
exactly. 100%. And Anne says it.
we need to read Anne Walk's comment, because she said, so men will not say it is okay for disrespect. Yes, I know. There are so many people in healthcare or medication. Yes, because we also suffer from problem. We are human, and actually, chronic pain. 1 in 5, at least in UK, 1 in 5 people experience chronic pain. So, how many nurses? And you're right, it is hard with women colleagues. We have to lift up each other, and sometimes we put them down.
Yes, that's where you pass the crown. You pass the crown around. And when it gets heavy, you pass it to the next one. And if someone slips, slip it back up there, straighten it up, and you don't even tell them it was crooked. Yes, it's all about passing that around, because all of us together help each other rise. And when someone's struggling, help them up. Help them up. It's so easy. It's so easy. I don't get it.
Exactly. And I want to take this opportunity to congratulate with Kimberly, because she's being recognized one of the leading inspiring women. Right? So share the things, because I love the post that you shared this event. It was a so sweet and humble post. You didn't cry yourself because you received this amazing award. You actually crowned all the people around you, and I love so much because it was so sweet. I felt like I want to cry as much. I was happy. What did you share? So please share a little bit.
Without you guys. I wouldn't be here and where I am without all of you. It's taking all of you, all of our stories, all the conversations, the trials, the tribulations, the wins and the losses. That's why, So completely humbled to be that, but I love to share the wealth, because it's all of us. It's all the crowns, the men. So I have to invite the men into the queendom. I know I call it a queendom, and people are probably like, "What the hell is a queendom?" But it's a queendom.
Yeah, exactly.
Kingdom, right?
I mean, the kingdom. This is a queendom.
It's the queendom. And it's just having fun with it. You know what I mean? It's just having fun with it. And we're all queens, we're all kings, and just bringing everybody together. Because, like I always say, we rise together and we are a village, we are a tribe, and we are a breed of our own, right?
And collaboration, no competition. Competition really break nursing. Flavia, hello. So nice to have you here. Good question. Kimberly, go.
Okay. Do you think that sometimes colleagues don't back each other up because they are afraid of their manager? Absolutely, 100%. Absolutely, 100%. Yep. You have great managers, and I had an amazing manager when I was in labor and delivery for 20 years. And I have to say, yes, a good manager can make you or break you. Absolutely, 100%.
As I said, my first manager at the ICO here in UK, well, actually my second manager in Italy as well. They were amazing. You really can recognize the healthy of a team by the self-aware and capacity of the leader. Where you in place where you don't work well because there are gossip, because there are problem and discussion, it's because it's the manager. It doesn't matter if the manager does 100,000 billion, like my daughter say a lot of number, 1,000 million trillion of a training. If the just because they have to tick the training because of the training list, the manager training list, it doesn't matter if you don't apply what you actually study. So the leader really make the team.
Oh my God, yes, because they have meetings about the meeting that they had last time they met.
Exactly. Meeting to talk about meeting. What the manager system know that we have to protect our license. No, sorry, I didn't understand.
So when the managers and the healthcare system know that we have to protect our license. So what she's saying is with everything that's happening, they're looking at us like, but we know, and they know that we're doing what we have to do safely to protect our license, because that's on the line. That's our career. That's everything. And it only takes one bad thing for that to be wiped out. So yeah, absolutely, Anne. Absolutely. Thank you for being here, and love you. And Patricia,
this is amazing.
A lot of organizations took the easier route, and rather than making adjustments at work and accommodate nurses disabled by COVID, acquired at work usually, absolutely. They just forced us all into ill health dismissal. In essence, they declared us disposable, which is so wrong on so many levels. Oh my goodness, yes. Oh my goodness, yes. Absolutely.
Yeah, I would say Patricia Temple is an amazing leader. She have amazing. I would like to interview her actually, Patricia. Maybe
we can do like a threesome of all of us and Patricia, Carter.
She have multiple experience in multiple countries. Like her experience is amazing. So
she is amazing, and we did a Zoom with Mark Carter from Mock Health the other day, and just to sit and listen to her stories and where she's been and the tribal background that she has, I was just sitting there like, oh, I felt like a little kid listening to his story. It was so amazing. I was like, oh my God, I want to be like her when I grow up. I tell her that all the time. I want to be like you when I grow up. But my kids always say, Mom, are you ever going to grow up? I say no.
I mean, don't worry. We are too. And I agree, Patricia, and especially, and I'm a career coach for international educated nurses, okay? And I'm working on retention. I try to create a system with the NHS Key Entrepreneur Program to create a system to retain nurses. And this is become very clear. Nurses are becoming disposable. Like international educated nurses, they are good for exchange. They are just a commodity, numbers. In fact, they, until in UK, until just 1 year ago, but all country, they really recruit in bulk. From India, from Philippines, especially from Nigeria, from Italy, Portugal. We are just a commodity, and we are really disposable. And we are recognizing this. This is why this
Mm-hmm.
escape from nursing?
So Darlene isn't commenting on Missy's response. Missy, you are so right that this is now a global disaster. I sense that nurses globally care enough for our profession that we will be the ones to fix this. Our voices collectively need to come together and rise against the system. We will continue to be silenced if we don't stand up together. And what do I keep saying, everyone? What does all my posts say? We rise together. And it's going to take all of us together, speaking like this, talking about these things, saying enough is enough, and putting our foot down and being no, I'm done. I'm done. I'm tapping out because you know what? I don't have to do this. I don't have to do this here. You find someplace else. There's a million avenues for our careers and where we pivot and where we go. There's not one chapter in my book that says, oh, you have to stay right here in chapter 9 and you can't move on to chapter 10. No, that's not like that at all. It's not like that in your book. You know, you move on. If it dims your light, it was never meant to carry your fire. Move on. And that's okay. It's okay to pivot. You do not have to stay where you are not welcome. You do not have to stay where you do not feel psychologically safe. And that's the thing. And I think that's what everybody running this, you know, and Anne say it's about energy, the vibration of the human matrix to work together. We're humans. We should be working together, not fighting against one another, right? Especially women. Oh my God, it's a sisterhood. Yeah, you're always going to have that one mean girl. You're always going to have her. Well, just she can poo right off because, you know, when she finds herself all by her own self and nobody's helping her, well, maybe she'll do a little self-reflection, you know. But again, I'm not saying be unkind to anybody. I'm just saying sometimes you have to give them a mirror and be like, look, this is you, and this is what you are doing to the people around you. Because maybe sometimes they don't even realize it. But I'm going to say most times they probably do. They're just, Anyway, I could go on forever about bullying because it infuriates me. It is absolutely unacceptable. Unacceptable behavior. Anyway, I'm sorry.
Yes, I love you. We do this together because of it. So, thank you, Anne. You're right. This is because, again, women, in our society are undervalued. This is the healthcare system. It's right because nursing profession represent 50% of the healthcare professionals, and the majority are women. Now, percentage vary across countries, but roughly is there. So, and because as women we are also remissive sometimes, we make sure that everyone, because we are weird. Sorry, my accent. The way we are made for caring, to be mother, to be nurtured, because the way we are made, and we tend to protect others. We tend to make sure the others are, okay, and we tend to forget ourselves. And unfortunately, or for good luck, the nursing is the major prevalence is women profession, right? So, per se is a profession where tend to make others better, patient, but including other teammates, other healthcare professional. So we care about everybody but us. So this is a very good point, I think, Hannah.
Right, absolutely. What did Anne says? So Anne says the nursing students here in the U.S. have a hard time when they get on bedside. You're okay, bedside nursing. Finding what they learned in school does not work on the real floor.
Yeah,
absolutely it doesn't. Absolutely it doesn't, because we don't prepare them for that. We don't prepare them, and I've started writing a book. It's called Nursing Economics, and
wow.
So it's involving like what you learn in school, But like my recent post, I talked about unapologetically becoming, the nurse, what you're saying and what you're doing to protect yourself. So I feel that we need to really show them what the reality of this is, because we all know what you learn in school is definitely not the reality of what you come into. So to be able to handle the first death, the first time you get into an argument with the doctor, the first time someone humiliates you in front of a patient, nobody teaches you anything about that. Nobody teaches you how to handle that, how we compartmentalize that. Do we put it in, like I always say, it's suitcase. Just tuck it in another suitcase and carry it around with us. But there's no preparation for that. So absolutely. And so we, again, all of us talking and us being the elders, because that's what we need to do for this next generation. Just need to keep talking, and we need to keep talking and sharing the stories, and this and this and this happened. That way, if something, because it's always going to click with somebody. Somebody's going to be like, oh my goodness, that happened to me, and they're going to be like, oh, okay. I'm so glad to know that I'm not the only one. How many times we hear people say that? I'm so glad I'm not the only one. And then Anne says, then the nurses start with adding all the degrees, letters next to their names, asking a subtle discrimination or the floor, such as they receive better training than someone else. Yeah. And I always say no badge weighs more than another. No badge weighs more than another. I don't care how many titles you got behind your name. Good for you. I'm so proud of you. And I'm genuinely so proud of you for continuing your education. But that makes you a leader. Don't use that as I'm better than thou. Use that as, look what I've learned. Look what I can bring to the table. Look what I can share with you. Right? That's how all of those titles should be. But that, again, like Anne says, there's some that don't act that way. They act like they're better than thou because they have all these titles. I hate flipping titles. I had a nurse one time, she had so many titles behind her name. I always used to tease her and be like, TNN, CNN, CBS, TBS, because I couldn't even remember what they all were. So I just name off radio stations or TV shows.
That's so true. And Han continuing, even when you prepare the nurses, I spoke to a professor and they just have them walk around the elephant in the room. Yes, so I wrote a couple of articles about that were talking anyway about nursing identity, but I try to evaluate the nursing profession based on the evolution of nursing, because what I say is the medical profession born thousands of years ago and have all these all these years to evolve while the human race was evolving, right? The human species was evolving.
Right.
Nursing, born just 200 or so years ago, and he born just before this exploitation of science, and medicine really exploded since the last century. So we didn't have the time to understand who we are and how we can manage, this implementing of technology, of research, of data. So
right.
What we really, and because we are not able to understand ourselves, we need that someone else recognizes. Also, because we are really born in the battlefield. I also I also try to bring to attention the Korean War with Florence Nightingale, but also the suffering award where in North Italy, where just a couple of decades after, no, the same years actually, where the Red Cross born. So volunteers and nurses profession really born in that time, and they born during the battlefield. So they have this hierarchy structure, So nurses are those who always comply with the orders that someone else given to them. But because last century science evolved so much, nurses have to evolve themselves as well. So it's like we don't really understand our identity, because this profession that we got is just born actually and went through all these changes and challenges and COVID, all of these things, that now we don't know who we are.
Right.
So because we don't know who we are, we want to be recognized. And the only way to be recognized now is at the title or the over title. So we basically go to the university just to show that we value. Yes, we are nurse, but we value. And this is toxic because when we use a certificate, a laminate, to show to other who we are, this is really is harmful because you must understand who you are yourself, your capability, what you are able to bring to the table to understand who you are. No a certificate or a word or a label, I believe.
Right. And in some of the conversations as of late too, some people just jump titles. They get this title, then they go to this title, then they get to this title, and then they're up here, and then they try to run things like they've been a nurse on the floor, but they've never ever done that. They've never been in the trenches. They have no clue what they're leading. They've just jumped positions. They've gotten to a leadership role and they rule from the throne, but they have no idea what's going on with the peasants around them. And I don't want to say that in a bad way. Do you know what I mean? Just if we're looking at a queendom, you have the queen, and you have the throne, and then you have the peasants that they're overwatching.
Yeah, exactly.
So I feel sometimes that the people that are just title jumpers have no aspect of having the first clue of what's happening on the floors. It's like when they go through and they do a whole revise of a unit, spend $60 million on this, looks good on paper, looks beautiful on billboards, but it's not functionable because they didn't have the nurses in that conversation. They didn't have the nurses at that table who actually work in that unit. Okay, so nope, that's not going to work. Nope, if you do this, that would be much better. So then they get this big, beautiful unit and nobody can function. Everybody's like, okay, well, that doesn't work. And then what do? We do the workarounds. We do the workarounds to try and make something work that should have worked in the first place had we been a seat at the table. Just saying.
And you know what was, I think, the problem? Because I'm a career coach, so I understand this from a different perspective. And I think the problem is people think that by adding certificate and scholarship and master and PhD, blah, 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 they automatically become leaders. Why actually they're not. They specialize in that field. So they're very much specialized. And we really need these people, okay? But this study doesn't make you automatically a leader, because to be a leader, first of all, you need to know what you're talking about. It's not just theoretical, but also practical. So you have to really walk the walk. Okay, so you need to know, because you breathe it, what is happening. In a very innate perspective. But also you need to understand how to be self-aware, how to lead with empathy. So we really need emotional intelligence. We also need cultural intelligence, because now nurses become more and more international. So you not become a leader because this is the problem. They put people in charge because they have a title. They not necessarily reflect their capability. I don't know, am I wrong?
No, you're absolutely right. No, they put somebody in a position because of the titles and because they have some experience in the title, but they have really no experience in nursing and the practice of it and what it really entails. So I feel you cannot be a leadership in nursing if you have never been in the trenches, if you have never gotten out of your office, walked around. And because when I was a supervisor position and I got in the trenches with my girls, I had freaking almost 50 people underneath me, and I walked around. I roomed patients. I drew labs. I started IVs. I talked to patients. I helped educate patients. I helped assist the doctor. You just have to get out of your office and get down into those trenches to really know what's going on your unit. You can't do it from a back office. It's not going to happen. And then I know as a unit, we'd be like, oh, where's so-and-so? Oh, she's in her office. And it's like, we're drowning out here. Why isn't she putting on a pair of scrubs and coming and helping us? And then that comes back to, like you said, they just have titles. They have no experience. They have no practical knowledge. They have no business being in that role other than they have a title. So having a title doesn't make you a leader. Having a title in an office does not make you a leader. It doesn't. It doesn't. And I will fight that tooth and nail for the rest of my natural life. I will fight that.
And this is actually, we're talking about last episode of, we talk about power distance. And this is where actually power distance become more extended, because people with titles stay close in their office and they just make chart, design things and demand, people in the unit on the word that they execute without even a clue. And Patricia, I want to come to your comment actually, because
Go ahead.
I really appreciate, and Kimberly, she's so right when she talk about village and when she talk about elders. So you say the magic word, Kimberly, elders. As an elders, we have the tribal responsibility of sharing all we have with the next generation. Imagine the impact of the collective wisdom of us all shared freely for change, and what power. Yeah.
Absolutely, Patricia. Absolutely. And, Patricia also says to Darlene, this is so true. I worked in Saudi Arabia and Kuwait, and it was so obvious here. Nurses treated as doctors, handmaidens, and then less than, sadly, many believe the image given them because it came with them from their home countries. So much work needs to be done. Oh yeah, and that's the thing too with travelers. You're trying to blend into a culture you have no time with, so you're just trying to fit in, and that's the thing too. I feel that so many people they just want to fit in, they just want to belong, and so many times, especially when us with travelers and trying to fit in and trying to because they're doing this because you need help. And I've seen so many traveling nurses be mistreated because they're making more money, or they don't know the dynamics of this. And it's like, why would you dismantle or tear someone down who's here to help you? I never understood that. And it was like, I always felt so bad for them. Of course, I would always be like, what can I do to help you? Or this is where this is where this is. Why isn't everybody doing that? Why doesn't everybody just be kind and be helpful? Especially when someone's there to help you. Who gives a shit how much money she's making? She's working for a company. That's her job. That's her pay scale. And that's what she's doing, So I'm sorry, I'm going to get loud because it just infuriates me. Don't take advantage of those that are trying to help you. Help them help you. Be kind. Be gentle. Give them some grace. They just been like taken from a freaking airplane, dropped on an island in the middle of nowhere, and they're like, okay, right? I mean, not all charting systems are the same, and you're trying to figure that out, and you're trying to figure out how to log in. Imagine trying to take all of that in on your first day, everything that we've taken years to learn on our unit. They're dropped on an island and have to know all of it in that short amount of time. And take care of a patient. Don't mind that. Let's take care of a patient. Yeah. So, God, just be nice, people. Just be kind. I'm sorry.
Also, because with kindness, everything is possible. To be honest, so easy to use. It's so self-empowering, and so it empower other people as well. So,
yes.
Darlene, I wanted to actually pull on your comment because I missed. Apologize. So, Darlene said, in Canada, our nursing workforce is now comprised of about 30% international trained nurses, which is the same in UK. We have 1/3 internationally educated in UK. Some of them come from countries where they have been oppressed. Yes, where questioning the physician or the system comes with negative consequences. They are particularly vulnerable because they don't know that self-advocate is okay to do. They don't know what self-advocacy means as a nurse. And we started an initiative where nursing students and new grads can come to share their experience with us.
super.
And
Perfect.
I don't know, it's going. Yeah, exactly. And thank you very much, Darlene. And this is what I'm trying to shout to everyone, to the collective from years now. International educated nurses, on top of all the problem nursing already have the layer of be in another country with a different culture, with people with different cultural system. They have to learn. And most of the time, unfortunately, because nurses are recruited in bulk, okay, they have been promised with another dream of future. And when they actually experience what is the reality, they crash in a migration failure. So they shrink and they are scared to vote, scared to speak up, scared to do everything because they are scared to lose their visa. So any time there is a discussion in nursing, we have to do this, we have to do that, we have to vote for this, we have to, to strike, we have to raise our voice. Why you never ask the international educated nurses how they feel in do certain things? Why you don't take with compassion and empathy the nurse that come from abroad explain that it is safe actually say your opinion to improve nursing. And thank you for so much to share this comment, because it's something that I fight for since I don't know how many years now.
Right. I see that Anne commented in the box. She says, "You're so right. You're right to be kind. However, if they treated the floor nurses well, then you would not have that animosity to the travel nurses." So, Anne, when you say if they treated the floor nurses well, do you mean the organization treated the nurses well, or do you mean the traveling nurses? Just to clarify which one you're talking about there. Um, so if they treated,
I think she left.
Okay.
Thank you, Anne, for all your encouragement. Anyway, I love so much.
So I'm thinking she's talking about the organization, the system. If they treated their nurses that they already had with, respect and kindness, then there wouldn't be so much animosity, because now you have a traveler coming in who's thinking, that person's not thinking personally, but the organization is like, oh, we have the savior now, or we have this one now. So whatever, we'll be able to function. Again, the system has got to change where it starts to really look at what's right there in front of them. We are right there in front of them, and take care of those that you have. Take care of those, because what are they saying? I read something recently. Anytime a RN leaves, it's like $50 to $70,000 to replace one RN. By the time you do orientation and get them going, and benefits and pay and all of that. So why aren't they killing themselves as an organization to do whatever it takes to keep the nurses that they have? If you kept the nurse, like I said, happy wife, happy life, happy nurse, happy patients, happy patients, happy nurse. I mean, right? So
happy
take care of
happy patient, more money for the organization, because we're talking money,
right,
unfortunately.
Because people want to come here. It's not going to be like, oh, don't go to that hospital, because we all know in our communities, we all know which hospital you go to and which hospital you don't. So wouldn't you want to be the hospital that isn't on that list of to do or not to do? Right? So again, yeah. So I appreciate everybody that showed up today and all the conversation. And I apologize if we couldn't read all of them, because there's so many.
So yeah, this is awesome. So many comments. This conversation was very, very active and engaging. Love you so much for your commitment to the podcast. And
I love it.
excuse my strong accent. Sometimes I really bite my tongue while I'm talking. Oh, okay, I got you. Yeah,
Here I
and
am again. Boop, I'm done. I'm like a surprise in the box. I just pop up every now and then. Boop, here I am.
peekaboo. But before we leave, because it's already, another hour. We talk for 1 hour, like Yeah,
know,
I
and we
love
could
this.
keep going. I mean, I could keep going. You and I could sit here and keep going.
Yeah,
People are
exactly.
like,
But you have another live very soon. And
I
but
do.
before
So
you go,
everybody, you have to come to the 11 o'clock live EST. So it's, I think, what is it? Something GMT time. Anyway, so 11 o'clock
don't worry,
EST, if that
it's
helps all
fine.
of you. But it's with
Is
Dr. Vivian Magnus, and it's going to be amazing. So if you follow us here, find me again there. We'll be talking about monetization and everything that is us. So I love this conversation with Dina. I love these episodes. I could keep talking and keep talking and keep talking because Dina just brings, baby, you bring so much to this platform,
you
to
do.
LinkedIn,
Oh,
to to LinkedIn, to the people that follow you. And I send people your way all the time because they'll ask questions. I'm like, oh, I know who you need to talk to because if they're in Nigeria and they're wanting to come to the US or they're wanting to go to the UK or whatever. I'm like, I got nothing. I love you. I can help you with other things, but let me send you to someone who knows that because again, we talked about that before. Don't pretend that you know something that you don't just to get a client. Don't do that.
yeah.
If you don't know it, you don't know it. I mean, obviously, I could get the answers for it, but then I'm just talking out of my realm. And why wouldn't I send them and to have the best experience, to be cared for the way that they genuinely need? So
And I
yes, so I send
agree.
them to you all the time, girl, all the time.
Thank you so much. I agree. And I wanted to say, what do you do also to help nurses to reinvent yourself? Because before you go, just just say just an introduction to, when someone is at the end of their career and then the retirement approach, and they don't know who they're going to become because for their entire life they've been nurses, and
Mhm.
so their identity is really attached with nursing. And now what? Just touch the point because you are amazing, and also help other people understand their why, they recognize themselves, and to start other things. And you're going to talk about monetization as well. So just give a little, I don't know, a glimpse of advice to those people, because we said that we have to talk about and we didn't.
Yeah. So when nurses are retiring, and I actually just did a post on this, and you guys can find it on my profile. I'll go through it. It talks about a nurse after 37 years, she'd retired, and she just had found that she lost herself, and she ended up with having some mental health issues and finding herself on the curb outside of an ER because that's where she had spent 37 years, and it was the only place that she felt like she belonged. So for those retiring, and I've seen so many nurses that I've worked with who've retired and have come back because they've just felt lost. It was great. They didn't have to get up and go to work, but they felt that they lost their identity, that they lost their purpose. They lost their why. What? I don't know what to do with myself now. I can't even tell you. I had one nurse who retired. She was 74 years old, and she came back in labor and delivery. God love her. Um, just because she didn't know what else to do. She felt so lost, and she felt more purposeful being at work and being able to take care of moms and bring life into the world. Was it tough on her? Yes. But did she work part time? Yes. I mean, she didn't come back full time. But the fact was, and it's like I always say, being in nursing is like being in the mafia. Once you're in, you never get out. You just find a different aspect, right?
But you can still reinvent yourself because we have so many terrible
Yeah.
skills, and
Yeah.
we can bring it in another place. And to close the conversation, as you beautifully say, we need elders. So if you are a nurse and you approach it to the retirement, and you feel that you're lost because you don't know who you become, you still a big source of knowledge and emotion management. So please, if you want to invest yourself and you want to still in nursing, you don't need to stay on the bedside and break your back. Just share your knowledge to all the youngers that need your
Yeah,
your
absolutely.
wisdom.
Because they're the best educators. They're the best clinical educators, clinical instructors, and tutors. There's so many online tutor programs that I've seen a lot of nurses get into, where they're teaching the new students to get ready and to get through their classes and to pass the NCLEX. So we are a plethora of knowledge. So there's so many routes to go, so many paths to follow. It's just finding the one that lights your fire. If it doesn't light your fire, move on. It has to light your fire, because if you're going to do this, especially out of retirement, you want it to be impactful. You want it to be enjoyable.
Yeah.
You don't want it to feel like work. You want it
Healthy.
to feel healthy and purposeful, with limits and boundaries, and knowing your boundaries, and a work-life balance. So yes. So to all
We
of
have
you,
to go. Thank you very much. And Kimberly's doing peekaboo again, but actually, I've lost her. Anyway, I really thank you, everyone. She's coming back. We really thank you, everyone, to be part of this amazing conversation. There we go. She's coming back. But anyway, just to say, if you're watching from YouTube, please share, comment, subscribe to your Nurses Move channel. And if you're watching from LinkedIn, please get in touch with me and with Kimberly. Connect at the stage. This is my fault. I didn't realize I have to. There we go.
I just jumped out of the box.
I don't know what's happening. I think you are experiencing some connection problem. Oh, there we go. Okay. But we finished, and we thank you, all of you. Please stay in touch.
Oh my goodness.
Continue this conversation.
Oh my goodness.
We still replies in the comment, and share with all that you think this conversation is useful. Thank you very much.
Yes. Thank you guys so much. Thank you for everybody that was here. Thank you for the conversation, and we will respond to them. Dina and I will respond to them throughout the day. So please enjoy your Sunday. Go do something fun. Love on yourself. Love on your family, and enjoy. Enjoy.
Yeah. See you next Sunday.
See you next Sunday, girl. Always.
Bye.
Always.
Love you.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Bye.